Imposter syndrome is one of those funny feelings when you wake up feeling like a fraud. But the key definition of imposter syndrome is basically you feel like a fraud, even though there's evidence otherwise that you're not. And that's the most important part. For example, if I were to go stand in the operating room and do brain surgery, I most definitely would be an imposter. But to stand up on a stage in front of operating room nurses and talking about imposter syndrome, I would not. And the challenge can be to recognize when you have the skill sets necessary to do something, but you're just feeling like, well, I can't possibly know this. How can I know this? And you're feeling like everyone else knows more than you. So I want to give you 3 tips to help you get over imposter syndrome. But first, I want to let you know that you are an excellent company. The most recent KPMG Women's Leadership Study that came out in 2020 was of 750 women that were 1 or 2 steps away from CEO suite, a level at work, and 75% of them felt like an imposter. So if you are feeling like an imposter, you are in great company. If accomplished women that have a million degrees after their names feel like that, it's okay that you feel that way too. So imposter syndrome is caused by a loss of confidence and a loss of risky play and risk taking. And so some of the things that you can do to help improve that imposter-like feeling is to begin to understand and identify the thoughts that are accompanying it. So are you feeling like an imposter when you're in a situation that's something that you've never done before? That's completely normal. That's being a novice. So the first tip would be if you were in a situation, a new job, a new experience, a new meeting, a new responsibility that you don't feel up to snuff, know that you're just a novice. You're going to digest that thought and write down all the things, all the times before that you've been a novice and you've been able to actually succeed and grow knowledge. So that's the first tip, is recognize when you're really a novice and when you're not really a novice. The second tip would be to recognize what kinds of things boost your self-confidence. And most people think that they can think their way into being self-confident. They can't. It's by acting their way to self-confident. And that is where risky play comes into play. And what is risky play? Well, when we're little humans, little mammals, we learn things such as where our boundaries are and what is dangerous in this world and how we can actually navigate it and still feel safe. So if you think about the games that kids play when they're little, hide and seek, they get on the swing sets, they want to go really high. They learn about fire, they learn about water, they learn about not running with scissors. That's considered risky play. And it's learning boundaries. So as we grow into adults, we often stop doing risky things. And so in order for you to grow your self-confidence, you need to start challenging yourself to do something that's out of your comfort zone. So my tip number 2 would be to begin to behave your way to more self-confidence by doing a risky thing every single day that is out of your comfort zone. And my third tip would be to talk about imposter syndrome. I think the reason that so many women suffer from it is that they think they're the only one. And reading articles and books about imposter syndrome can help you understand that you are not the only one. So when you're feeling that way, especially when you're feeling that way amongst peers or within a team, it's okay to say, right now I really feel like a fraud, but I know that I'm not because I have a skill set that will help me get through this. So those are my 3 tips. I love to give resources, and there's a couple of books that I recommend to begin using for your mindset development. One of the first books that I ever read that began to help change mine was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. In fact, I recommend all of her books. The second one that I recommend is there's a book called An Imposter Syndrome Workbook that you can get on Amazon that will help you to work through some of those feelings as well. Feel free to also follow me on Instagram. I am always talking about imposter syndrome and self-confidence, ways that you can grow your self-confidence on a daily basis. And you can follow me at Her One Tribe as well.